Alright, hello everyone. We are back for another golden shot tutorial here. This is going to cover the hard hole, but I just do want to make a brief mention here. You'll see this Santa Ventura already on my channel. There'll be a couple different ways to find that. You can go in through the app here, and that was with a long press on the notebook app how I did that. And this can be found under golden shots. So if I was to search for golden shots, you could find hole number 2 there is going to take care of that. So another thing that you'll notice is one of the Nordic Fjord holes here that you'll be able to use. But it's not that hole, it's a different one. So this one now is going to be, I believe this is hole 2. So it's going to be a little bit different look. It's going to be pretty much the same difficulty as that one. So these par 3s are definitely hard. And the biggest reason for why this one's hard is you kind of get in between clubs. They have an entire zone, which is kind of off limits. And that's pretty much where you want to land for all wins, is you actually want to land in where the red is. So it makes it a little bit tougher. But I'm going to walk you through some of kind of the different ways to do this. The way that we're going to do it is going to be kind of wind dependent. There'll be times where we use the golden iron. There'll be times that we use the golden wood. Any wind that's kind of pointed down towards the hole, I'm just going to go ahead and use the golden iron. Whereas anything that's kind of a headwind into my face, I'm going to use the golden wood. You'll also see the winds here are between 5 and 8 miles per hour. These clubs, this one particularly, this is going to be 2 per ring. However, the adjustment's going to be very mid-club. So it's probably going to be much closer to 2.5 per ring. You'll use more of a min adjustment there, which will keep all your ring adjustments between 2 and 3 on that club. 2 if the wind's 5, 3 if the wind is 8. Similarly, with the golden long iron here, we are going to have 1.7 per ring-ish on the accuracy, which is going to keep all your ring adjustments between 3 and 4. However, you will see that, especially with the new wind directional input that I'm going to use on the notebook application, you will see some of those numbers get intensified, whether it's straight into the head or a straight tailwind. It is going to kind of intensify the wind effect, so that's what you will see reflected in the calculations. Another thing is I pretty much use standard for this, all tees. It's a very flat tee box, so switching between the two different the levels of tees are going to always pretty much stay the same, and for all cases I use +5 for this hole. So without getting too much extra supplemental information, let's kind of jump in here. This is already going to be kind of a tougher wind because it's straight to the side, which really puts a lot of pressure on what you want to try to do here. So here's what you're going to see me do. I might just try to kind of go into power a little bit, and you can see right at about 4 or 5 rings. Typically I might try to curl this. But in this case, I'm going to use very, very minimal on the curl. And you can see that I am going into overpower. It's going to need less curl because of, and you can see that I still go out of bounds, even with that little, because of all that wind effect. So that's wind effect pushing that ball guide into the water. So something you do got to be a little bit careful of. However, I'm going to try to work through these the best that I can. And hopefully, definitely get better as we go along here. So let's take a look. Now you can see we have a headwind, and just as I mentioned, we're going to switch up to the wood. Oh, you know what? I actually put on I think I had it on the wood there, so I might have under adjusted as well. So something to be careful of. So there's a couple different ways we can go about doing this. One of the ways is you can use the backstop. So I'm going to kind of try to go through both. This backstop way is going to be a little bit tougher. And the biggest thing that you might end up doing is not being able to get it back down to the hole. So you do want to watch this method. However, it is going to give you more room for error. So here you can see I get a great ball. Look at that. It hit the fringe. If you get it way high up on that slope, you'll be able to get it into that red ring for sure. You can see I almost still did get it into the red ring there. It's a little bit harder to get it up high enough to get it to come down to the yellow. So you might want to, kind of, play that one with caution. You can also play the full backspin shot off the front. So I'll try to, get one of each just so you can see the different ways. And here's a straight headwind. So we're going to try to do that here. Of course, this way is going to pretty much require perfect ball. And here's the golden wood. Keep in mind, we're at min club. We're going to be way down here. We might pull up just slightly. So somewhere in here, 16%, I'm thinking. And 3.2 rings. With a little bit of curl, because you can see that ball guide's just a little bit off. So here's where we're going to go. And as I mentioned, definitely just a tiny bit of curl as well. So let's see what we got here right off the front. Might be just coming in just a little bit hot, see? So you want to be really cautious with those rings, but you get the basic idea. And you might just want to kind of under adjust that, because what you can't see is the rest of the ball guide, and the rest of the ball guide's actually kind of rolling through the hole. So you almost need to short hit those headwinds there and just underplay the rings, because of the fact that you can't get the ball to stop. So that's what you could see happening with my shot there. So let's take a look. I'm going to switch clubs here real quick. 3.5-ish rings. And I'm going to have to start kind of up here power-wise. So in this case, I want to make sure that, well, first off, I'm going to pull over, right about 3.5 rings. But I need to make sure that I kind of land up there. So I'll need to be sure that, I'm not short hitting this, and I'm giving it enough to be able to get to the hole. So this is, and you can see that it has that line that we want. It looks like we put just a tiny bit too much backspin on it. But that's what you want to try to do, is land on the fairway there and just have it roll out gracefully. How much backspin you use is going to be dictated by the wind direction and how angled downwind it is. So here you can see we get another straight in the face. I'm going to try to make an improvement on that shot that I just did there. So let's take a look here. 4.5-ish rings this time. But as I mentioned last time, since some of that ball guide's cut off, I'm going to just try to intentionally underplay this. So, because there's no way I'm going to stop it on this line. So instead of going 4.5 rings, I'm only going to go, I'm going to make sure that 4.5 rings is just a little bit shorter. So I'm only going to go maybe 3.7. You can see the curl that I'm using. And there you can see that it comes in much, much better. Had a really good chance there. You're just going to need just a tiny bit of curl. You just got to make sure that it lands up on that fairway, because you can see that all that ball guide that's cut off actually rolls through the hole because we don't have enough backspin to stop it. So let's try to do it again. They give us another headwind. And the same thing is going to apply here. We're going to play this angle. And here you can see that it tells me 3.5 at min club. And we're going to play well under that. We're going to try right around, and I might not need to curl this one, or if I do, very, very little. So I'm going to go a little bit closer to 2.5 rings here. And as I mentioned, very little curl with this case, because the wind effect is going to end up pushing it over towards the hole. So let's see how this looks. It's coming in good. And sure enough, there's the crimson. Almost had the yellow. I really deserved that yellow for that shot. As you can see that it was coming in very, very nice. And sorry, I'm getting over a cold, so if my voice is a little bit off, that is indeed why. But just trying to get through it and, still make sure that I put together this guide for you guys so you guys all know kind of the different complexities that you're looking at. And as I mentioned, with the backstop, you could still use the backstop method this way. However, it's going to be very tough to get that yellow ring using the backstop method. So it's going to be much better that you just tried to go about. I'm going to use right about just a little bit more than one backspin here. 4.8-ish rings, somewhere in here. So let's take a look. So far, so good. Let's see if I took off enough. Oh, I didn't quite put enough curl on it, but you can see pretty much, what's happening there. You just want to get that, bouncing off that fairway at about one backspin and just let that roll out. It looks like, I probably would have crept into the crimson ring there. But that yellow ring is only, I think it's that yellow ring is definitely, you have to get it within a yard. And with no ball guide, that's going to be a very challenging thing to do. And you're really just going to have to kind of make improvements on my adjustments here that you guys are seeing. But there's no reason that I don't think, first off, you can get the ace here. You can get the, that yellow ring. It's really just going to require some good discipline and being able to just kind of play through the different scenarios there, the win scenarios, and just kind of tweak your spin and curl. And with the limited guide, you just kind of got to hope for a little bit of luck that you're able to pull that one off. Especially with the long iron, you can see that you almost have to make sure that it lands into power. Like you could see the way that I set up a lot of those adjustments. It's better if I land 2 rings in and use 1 backspin than it is that if I land it shorter and then it just comes in too hot because I didn't put backspin on it. So it looks like right about 1 is going to be the magic number. And on the wood shot is you'll just kind of underplay it intentionally and, by the effects of maybe about a full ring there, or very, very close to a full ring underplay on the wood of whatever the min value that it gives you. And, doing it that way, you'll hit more on the front of the island and you'll actually have enough backspin to make it stop. So good luck with that hole, guys, and take care. Let me know how your tournament chests come out and, well, for these golden shots. And, let me know how you guys did in the tournament as well. So I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.